Houston, we're in the space business now. This is a story of the Space Services Incorporated of America and David Hanna, Jr. It is a story of pioneering entrepreneurialism and of the people who set out to do the impossible. It's a story of the perseverance required to overcome great barriers and of successes, tragedies, failures, and triumphs. Ultimately, it is simply a good story. September 9th, 1982, America's first private space launch makes history. It began with a simple, revolutionary idea. The private sector can and should develop space. It wasn't always an easy road, but the team persevered, and success soon followed, and a more skeptical world changed its mind.
Good evening. What we're going to talk about tonight is vision, the sort of quality that enables some people to change the destiny of mankind. To appreciate the nature of that elusive quality, you have to take an event like today's launching of the Conestoga-1. It is called the Conestoga rocket, named for the wagon that carried early American pioneers to the west. Today, starting from a cow pasture in Texas, the Conestoga rocket pioneered the sky.
Scored a victory in space today. For the first time, a private American company launched a rocket. It's the first step to putting satellites into orbit with privately owned rockets instead of relying on the Federal Space Agency.
We've got so many things we can use space for that are not being done now because people have these ideas and it costs so much to do it. So if we bring the cost down, I think we'll get a real opportunity to try things up there we're not able to try right now.
Why bother going through this business of trying to put it together with baling wire and old oil drums or whatever it was you used?
Well, when we first got started, there wasn't a lot of people that were taking us seriously. I think, as one of the NASA people said, you really don't join the club until you blow one up.
But what we're doing, of course, is going with a solid rocket, which is basically a very reliable system, and we're confident that it's going to work.
Well, all went well today, and the first privately paid-for rocket soared into the sky from a launch pad in Texas. It may not have had the majesty of an Apollo nor the thunder of a shuttle, but it flew, and that's what counts.
It went fantastic. It went perfectly. It went wonderfully, exhilarating. It just worked great. We couldn't have had a better launch if we tried.
There's just a real difference between saying you're going to do that and saying we did it, I think.
The next thing we're going to do is go and drink a lot of beer.
And what was started in 1982 is only today fulfilling its promise. And David Hanna and the men and women of Conestoga-1 say it's about time.
I think we've got a start today that is motivating the minds and the ideas, and that's most important, the ideas of a lot of other people out there who are not today involved with Conestoga-1.
But what has lasted just as long as the old launch pad is the belief that this was, and still is, the right thing. And an equally strong conviction that this site, and the day Matagorda Island was a rocket port, should be marked by history and designated an historic landmark.
I think this was the Kitty Hawk of the commercial space age.
And that the dream that lifted off that September day hasn't faded in the hearts of the commercial space pioneers.
It was a fun day. I'd like to do it again sometime.
Well,
I might.
if he doesn't, he knows someone else will.